This is going to be a little bit of thinking out loud, so bear with me. But something has occurred to me that could be a massive breakthrough for me, and I want to share it because it could be a breakthrough for other people too. So when I first heard about the law of attraction, or the law of vibration, the law of alignment, I intuitively knew it was correct. And as I've learned about quantum physics, teaching things that Dr. Joe Dispenza and Dr. Bruce Lipton are sharing, it's being verified scientifically that the law of attraction or vibration or alignment, it is correct. But believing or knowing it's right and employing it properly are two different things. And that's been the big challenge for me anyway. It's like, how do I put it to work effectively to get the outcomes that I want? Well, here's what I'm thinking out loud. A lot of these teachers talk about vision boards, visualization, affirmations, the importance of prefacing everything with I am. And I think they're all on the right track. What I did is I used Apple iMovie to create a vision board movie for myself. And that's all evolving all the time. And it's got meditation music that synchronizes your brain waves starting from alpha down to delta, so it brings you into the dream state, so that things get into the subconscious more deeply. I've added subliminal affirmation things. Last night, for the first time, I watched that movie with headphones on, as opposed to listening to it from the speakers out of the laptop. And something about that triggered an entirely different experience. And I kept repeating to myself in my mind as I watched it all, this has already happened. And that's what triggered this thought that I'm having now, that I'm kind of thinking out loud with you tagging along. If we visualize what we want to manifest as something that we will have someday, or that will happen someday, it stays just ahead of us in the future. It stays just out of reach because we're placing it in the future, something we haven't reached yet. It can be very difficult to visualize things in the present moment, visualize things that we want in the present moment, because our perceptible current reality can contradict it. And we end up calling ourselves a liar. We disbelieve what we want to manifest because it's like, well, no, I can't buy that dream house because this is what my bank account looks like right now. And so that can be self-defeating and undermining. And all the teachers of all of this say you have to believe as if it has already happened, or that you already have what you want. What I'm starting to think is what we need to do is frame it, our visualizations and our all of these things, in terms of the past. I have already had this experience, and here's why. All of us very naturally and instinctively seem to dwell on the past, or relive the past, in our minds, to relive experiences from the past. And it's what the past is very subjective and very changeable. For instance, if you interpret a past experience with somebody in a negative way, and then years later you sit down with them and talk about that experience, and they share with you new information about what they meant or what they were going through at that time, they can literally change the past for you, because now you interpret the experience differently. And so that's the power we have over the past. How we remember the past, the positive or negative character of the way we think about the past, is an amazing predictor of the kinds of experiences we will have in the future. And so, the future we haven't arrived at, the present moment is the only place where we can affect the past or the future, but it's also a moving target. If you think of an hourglass, and so the past is the one bulb, and the future is the other bulb, and they converge at this very narrow neck, that's the present moment, and that's constantly moving. The words I've just spoken in the present moment are already part of the past. And so if we're trying to manifest things in the present moment, like I said, it's a moving target. And the observable conditions of our present moment can undermine or disprove in our minds the reality that we're trying to manifest. But you can remember the past any way you want to. And you do. We all do. And so it's this vast, fertile garden. So maybe what we ought to do is visualize the experiences that we want to have as if they are already part of our history. I am the person who has who has had these experiences. And you deliberately, consciously choose the kinds of experiences that you want to have in the future by deliberately, consciously creating the kinds of experiences that, even if it's only in your mind, you have had in the past. So take those negative experiences that you've had in the past maybe and actually physically rewrite them the way you wish they had gone. But also take the kinds of experiences you want to have, buying your dream home, having your dream car, your dream relationship, whatever, and write them out, visualize them, whatever you want to do, but frame it in terms of something that you have already experienced. It's already part of your personal history. And that might be the key. Because if you're the kind of person who has these kinds of experiences over and over and over again, and it's part of your history, you're likely to remain or become the kind of person who continues to have these kinds of experiences. That's what's happening when we dwell on the negative experiences of our past. I'm the kind of person who always gets rejected, or always loses the job, or always almost wins, or whatever you're doing. That perpetuates itself because that's where you're dwelling, that's what you're attracting, but it's all being done in the territory of the past. So maybe that's where you need to plant, or we need to plant, the experiences that we consciously want to create in the future. Plant the seeds of those things in the soil of your past. That's my thinking out loud, and now I've got to get back to work.